A very important thing in any programming language, and especially in Python, is you have values, you have your variables, and you want to use those operators on your variables to be able to do a lot of things. You want to do calculations, you want to do things with those strings and move things around and manipulate your data. So we need to work heavily with what's called operators. Operators, there's different kind of operators within Python. Those include arithmetic operators, assignment operators, comparison operators, logical operators, identity operators, membership operators, bitwise operators. So what we're going to do in today's session is we're going to look at a couple of those examples so we can make sense of them. Let's enjoy the journey. All right, so let's start from the very beginning and take a very simple example of just a simple addition. So again, when we have those double quotes, 3 on top, 3 on the bottom, basically means anything in between is a comment, it's commented out. So we're going to remove those comments out. So when we run it, it actually runs this line of code, which is our example number 1. So we're going to click run. We're going to run this app. So 10 plus 5 is 15. So that's an example of a very basic operator. And here are some are what we call arithmetic operators. So we have some of those functions. You have your addition, you have your subtraction, multiplication, division, and you can see some of those examples. Again, all of this, you don't need to type any of those. If you go to kinseytech.com and look under Python, the Python course, you can go to the individual lesson and you'll be able to download all of this code. Now we're going to go to a slightly different example, and that is where we have what's called assignment operators. So we have x is equal to 5. But now we want to set what's called an assignment operator. So we have x is equal to x plus 3, and we write it in a different way. The way we write it is x is equal to, or x plus equal 3. So it means x is equal to x plus 3. So that's the way, this is what it means. And this is how we kind of run it, or type it as Python experts as you are. So we're going to type in x plus equal 3. What's the value going to be? It's going to be x is equal to 5. And now we're saying x is equal to the original value of x, which is 5 plus 3. So if we run this, it should give us an 8. So let's go ahead and uncomment example number 3, where we have x is equal to 5 and x is equal to plus equal 3, which means x is equal to x plus 3, which is 5 plus 3. So when we run this, we should have the value of 8. So let's run our app. Sure enough, our output is 8. Okay. So now we're going to go to comparison operators. So this is where we have equal, not equal, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. And here are some examples. So in our example, example number 4, we have x is equal to 5, y is equal to 3. And now we're going to go ahead and say print if x is equal to y. We're comparing x and y. So is 5 equal to 3? If 5 is equal to 3, it's going to give us a value of true. If it's not, it's going to give us a value of false, which of course it's not. So let's go ahead and uncomment this out. So now we're going to run this part of the code. And because 5 is not equal to 3, it's going to be false. But let's assume y was 5. Then 5 is equal to 5 should be true. Let's go ahead and run it. And sure enough, it's true. All right. Next, we're going to go to logical operators. We have and, or, not. And basically means whatever conditions we have before and has to be true, and the other side as well has to be true. They'll both have to be true for it to give us a true value. If it's one or the other, then we use or. But if we use and, it means both have to be true. So let's look at example number 5. Again, we have and, or, not. Here are some examples. Before we run example number 5, let's read it together. It says x is 5. So the value of x is 5. Now it's saying we're checking for 2 things. On this side of and, we're checking for, is x greater than 3? Is 5 greater than 3? Yes, 5 is greater than 3. Okay, and so the second part also has to be true. X is less than 10. Is 5 less than 10? Yes. So this side is true. This side is true. The value should be true. Let's go ahead and run it. So we're running this app, and the value is true. Now, suppose we had a value of 12. So this side is true. 12 is greater than 3, but is 12 less than 10? No, it's not. Because it's an and both have to be true, and this is true only for the left side, not the right side, we should get a false. And that's exactly what happens. All right. Next, we're going to go to identity operators. Okay, there's a little bit more to identity here. So there's two things. There's where a value is equal to a value and when it's the same identity. So you have a Toyota Camry, I have a Toyota Camry. So Camry is equal to Camry. Your car is the same as my car, value-wise. However, is your car the same as my car? No, it's not the same car. Maybe you and your spouse drive the same car. So that's the difference between equal. Equal means we have the same kind of car, the value is the same, but it's not the exact identity. It's not the same identity. But if you declare it equal to, then it becomes the same identity. Say, let's look at the distinction here. We're going to take example number 6. Let's uncomment it out and see what we're referring to here. X is equal to apple and banana. Y is equal to apple and banana. So X is equal to Y. It's not the same but identity, but it has the same value. So X is equal to Y is true. However, is X the same in terms of is X is Y? No, X is not Y. It's two different identities. However, Z is equal to X. We assign Z and X same identity. So this is different now. This is not just equal to, this is. And that's why if we run it, let's look at what the results are going to be here. It says X is Z. The first one is X is Z. And we did say X is equal to C, same identity, so it's true. Next, we said X is Y. X has a certain value, Y has the same value, but it's not the same object. So the answer, identity-wise, which is false. However, X value and the value for Y are the same. So yes, X is equal to Y is true. All right, so hopefully this gives us a high-level understanding of operators in Python so we can use them more in our coding. That's something that's very essential as we're trying to work with all the different variables that we have. So best of luck and enjoy the rest of the trip. Thank you.